So being with Tim last time, his name is not Tim, I learned a truly valuable lesson. So we were sitting and we were eating, and I was literally shaken off a comfortability. I was so uncomfortable that I was shaking. And finally, in the anger of how I found myself, I finally asked myself, why am I allowing him to have so much power over me? Why am I allowing him to have so much power over me? A huge realization, really. For me, at least. It was really huge. And I feel that is so much. I feel like that's so much of the resentment, actually. The resentment is that I am allowing him to make me feel a certain way. Where does this allowance come from? Blame. Because I'm blaming him. I'm blaming him for the way that I feel. And what does that mean? That means that if I am to feel differently, then he needs to change. But he's not changing, and also I'm not here to ask anyone to change. I'm here to learn about myself. I'm here to master myself. So that means, of course, the way that I feel is my full responsibility. I felt also when I realized this, and then sitting there and I was like, taking my energy back, I felt so much of my resentment leaving me, and I felt so much of the hate leaving me, because it is me. It's raining. Because it's me who has allowed him to have power over me. It is me who has allowed him to let me be dragged down, or to let me fall into the depths of these emotional states, of this anger, of this hate. I could have said no, I did put up my boundary. I put up my boundary for his behavior because his behavior was making me feel in a way, I was being disrespected a lot. My boundary was crossed, I put up my boundary, and it was crossed again. And every time I was like, well, he's going through a hard time, seeing it from his perspective, going through a hard time and everything. But it did not change. So my anger over time hardened and became hate. And that hate then is feeding the resentment, and that resentment is feeding the hate. That with the hate and with the blame, I'm blaming him. That's feeding the resentment, that's feeding the hate, that's feeding the blame, that's feeding the resentment. A life of its own. It has a life of its own. But one thing I did not do is I did not put up a boundary for myself saying, no, I will not allow any human being to have power over me. I will not allow any human being to let me fall down into these emotional states. I did not do that. So I just fell. And now I'm like in that hole. Really, and maybe I was dragged down. Maybe I was lured down. Maybe I got trapped, so I fell down, But being in that hole and trying then, I'm blaming you. Doesn't matter. It's me who's in the hole. Dr. Wayne Dyer, he uses this metaphor that I feel like is quite fitting. That it's never the snake bite that kills you. What it is the poison that's running through the body that slowly kills you afterwards. Slowly or fast. Where did I come from? So I did not put up that boundary for myself, and now I'm sitting in that hole, looking up, blaming. But he's not going to change, and also, this is not between me and him. This is between me and the Lord. I am reminded of Mother Teresa's poem that I read up in my last video. Like, in the end it says something like, not word by word, but something like this, that in the end, it is between me and the Lord. It was never between me and them anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God. It was never between you and them anyway. And that's how I see it. This is also the Buddhist perspective. Beautiful. That when life is pressuring you and squeezing you, and you are reacting, life is showing you where you do not yet master yourself. And this is where I am. I have been put inside of this hole by my own responsibility. I did not say stop. I walked in. I did not see the danger until I was there. And resentment is dangerous. I can literally be resentful for the rest of my life. I feel that. I went away for a month, and the entire month, every single day, I'm on the other side of the earth. I was in Ecuador with my girlfriend. Every single day I was resentful. Every single day I was angry and blaming him. Every single day I was blaming him, and I was on the other side of the earth. So literally, being there on the other side of the earth, burning with resentment, and yet I was like, it's his fault that I'm feeling like this. But he's not there. That really puts it up. Resentment is just me. It's just about me, really. So it's between me and the Lord. Can I overcome this? Yes, I can. Will I overcome this? Yes, I will. And I will overcome this before this year is over. Today it is the 18th of December, and I will overcome this before the new year. For the new year, I'm gonna be resent-free. Then while I was sitting there and we were eating, and this realization came to me, like, why am I allowing him to have so much power over me? By the blame, blaming him for the way that I feel, not taking full responsibility of my own feelings. That's what it is, saying that he has to change in order for me to feel better. But my feelings are my responsibility. This is my lesson to learn, and this is my growth. And have to be very thankful for that. Really, have to be really thankful for that. So that's also another perspective to see the whole thing with. Thank you for what you're teaching me. Humility too. So we were sitting there, and this realization came to me. And then I started looking at him. Really, really looking at him. I looked him in the eyes. He was looking away. I looked him at the eyes. I looked at his face, the way that his face is. I looked at his body. I looked at the way that he expressed himself. He was also very uncomfortable. And I could not help myself but feel a deep compassion towards him. Because it's like a child, that the children are never at fault because they don't know. And I kind of see the same here, he is burning. When one is burning, then one does not act with kindness. Then one does not think about, act in a certain way towards others that makes them feel good or bad. When one is burning, then they're not able to act in a way. We have a word in Danish, hensigtsmæssigt. Then they're not able to act in a hensigtsmæssigt kind of way. I have the translation right here. I've forgotten the word in English. So it's like I cannot blame him. I see what he is. I see what he's going through. I see how he's dealing with it. Not good. I cannot blame him. I truly cannot blame him. And then it's also this really seeing him and really seeing that he is so desperate, thirsty, hungry, eager for compassion, for love, for connection, for friendship. And I cannot give it to him. But I want to. In that moment, I want to give it to him. I want to really be there. And I have given it to him before. But slowly then the resentment just comes right back. And I fall right back down into the hate, into the resentment, into the uncomfortability, and into the blame. Allowing him to have power over me. When, what are they called? Divers? No, when people are gonna say, oh, what are they called? When divers, when someone is drowning and the helper comes to help to save that person. If the drowning person cannot calm themselves and allow the help to be there and allow themselves to be helped, but if they keep dragging the helper down, then what the helper does is say, no. If you cannot calm yourself and if you're dragging me down with you, I'm gonna say no. Then it's better that only you drown instead of the both of us. Maybe that's rough, but that's also wisdom. And I feel like what I have done is that I have allowed myself to drown with Tim. And now I need to get up. And getting up from that burning fire has nothing to do with Tim. It's everything to do with me and the Lord. Yeah. And then this will be done by the end of the year. Before the end of the year, I will be resent-free. And that's a promise. Yeah. I don't think I have anything more. I think that was pretty much it. So it was just a little video. Hope that you got something out of it, and it was just more, yeah, I don't know. It was just a little video. Have a nice day, and I love you, and be happy, and all that is good your way. And I hope that when you get through situations yourself, that you will get good through it. Always look at it from the perspective of, this is teaching me something, and allowing the teachings to come in. And this is not between you and the circumstances. This is between you and the Lord. Yeah.